All right, welcome everybody. So excited to have you here. I can see so many people have already started submitting, uh, chatting in the chat. So it's really cool. Love seeing where everybody's from. Love hearing about your favorite features. So keep that coming. Just wanted to welcome you. So today we are going to be talking about unlocking advanced AI features in ClickUp. So recently, we've covered the launch of ClickUp Brain and the features that were bundled with that release. But now we're going to be showing you how we've not only improved and added to those features, but how to actually tie those features together into advanced workflows that will truly revolutionize the way that you work. So just to introduce myself, my name's Elliot. I'm the manager of customer education here at ClickUp. And before we get started today, I did have a few housekeeping items that I wanted to go through. So first of all, the session today, it is going to be about 30 minutes long. I've got about close to 20 minutes of demoing that I'll do, but I also want to save time at the end for live Q&A. So definitely be sure to submit those questions into the Q&A tab. That brings me to my next topic, chat versus Q&A. On the right-hand side of your screen, you should see three tabs. We've got chat, docs, and Q&A. So chat, definitely let us know where you're from. You can plug your business in there, I've seen people post LinkedIn and connect in there. Love all the chatter that comes through. And then we've also got a dedicated tab for Q&A. So for all of your questions, make sure that you submit those to the Q&A, because also the Q&A is where I'll be looking and where our team will be looking to find questions that we want to highlight and actually demo live together. So again, at the end of the session for the final 10 minutes, we're going to be taking questions live, trying to answer those live through demoing on the platform. So again, if you've got questions about AI, make sure you submit those questions in the Q&A. And that's one more thing I wanted to mention is we'd like to make sure that the questions are focused on AI. So any questions that you have with regard to AI, make sure you submit those to the Q&A. Now, along with the chat and Q&A, we've got the recording and links to resources. So in the middle tab, you'll see that there's an option for docs. If you click on that tab, you should see a link that's going to take you to this document. So this document has a bunch of resources for you. So we've got a ClickUp Brain FAQ. So this is going to be all of our commonly asked questions. The number one question we always get is if this is recorded. Yes, this is being recorded. We will send that recording out to you. Along with that, I wanted to call out our brand new ClickUp AI certification. So we've got a new certification on ClickUp University. We've got a link directly to that certification here in the doc. So definitely check out that certification, get certified in ClickUp AI. We've also linked product feedback. So if you are unaware, if you've got feedback about ClickUp, if there's a feature that you're looking for and you haven't seen it in the product, definitely take a look at Canny. You can access Canny via the link here. That'll take you directly to our Canny page. And definitely when you're on Canny, make sure that you're actually searching for the feature that you're looking for to see if it's already been submitted as a request, and then you can upvote that request. Our product team does look at Canny, does pull directly from Canny for product updates. So definitely make sure that you're familiar with Canny and submitting your product requests in Canny. And then finally, if you did have any general questions about ClickUp, so again, we'd really like to keep the questions in the Q&A AI focused for today. But if you did have any additional general questions, I've linked the Help Center here. So you can just go ahead and click on the link to get to our Help Center. In the Help Center, you've got a chat bot. You've also got access to all of our help articles. So if you've got general questions, definitely go to the Help Center. All the answers that you would ever need are going to be there. All right, cool. So heading back to our slides here, I did also want to talk a little bit about security and privacy before we get started. So just with regard to privacy, so we do get quite a bit of questions with regard to privacy and security. With regard to privacy, I just wanted to remind everybody that AI and what the AI in ClickUp and what ClickUp Brain can surface to you and your team is directly linked to your permissions and access in the platform. So it can only surface those things that you already have access to. So for that reason, you don't have to worry about team members asking AI a question and then the AI surfacing either private information or information that they shouldn't have access to. As long as that person does not have access to that information in ClickUp, the AI isn't going to be able to provide that information to them. Similarly, if you've got information that you want people that you want to be surfaced to your team members, like processes or SOPs, make sure that those processes and SOPs are shared across your workspace so that when people ask the AI questions, it can surface those answers to them. And then finally, I wanted to talk a little bit about security. So just wanted to remind everybody that we aren't training on your data. So we do not train on your data for the AI. Next, I did want to talk very briefly about ClickUp versus the competition. For the sake of time, I'll keep this pretty short. So maybe I'll just talk about Notion and Glean. So with Notion, we all know Notion excels at doc writing with AI. ClickUp AI actually offers a more comprehensive suite of tools, though, integrating deeply with various applications for a seamless workflow experience. And then Glean. If anybody here hasn't heard of Glean yet, Glean is a pretty amazing tool. It allows you to connect tools external tools together and then link them together to actually ask them questions. And what you may not realize is that we've actually added this functionality at ClickUp. So we not only have now have the same exact capabilities of Glean and the ability to actually link external apps back to your AI in your workspace, but you also have the ability to ask questions about the work that's taking place in your workspace as well. So you can ask ClickUp AI about things that are taking place outside of your workspace and inside of your workspace, linking all of that work and information and insights together. So you can see ClickUp AI not only matches, but often actually surpasses our competitors, providing unparalleled value to our users. And that brings me to what we plan to cover today. So we're going to be reviewing the newly updated AI features, specifically Ask AI, which allows you to get answers to any question from across your workspace, regardless of what team you're on. Connected Search, which will allow you to connect all of your team's apps, enabling seamless access to information and updates across all of your work, not just what's taking place in ClickUp, but your external apps as well. We've got Build with AI, which is going to allow you to manage and automate your work to save you more time than ever. And we've got Write with AI, which will allow you to create content in a flash. Now, of course, after we go through these 4 new feature updates, I want to do some workflow reviews where we'll actually show you real-world scenarios where you can tie these features together into an advanced workflow, as well as we'll have some time at the end for live Q&A. All right, so let's kick things off with one of the most popular features, which is Ask AI. Ask AI allows you to ask about tasks, docs, and people, but it's so much more than that now. With the addition of wikis, we allow you to specify the information you want ClickUp Brain to focus on, like project FAQs, SOPs, or company policies when it's surfacing information. So let's take a look at Ask AI in action. So heading over to my workspace, you'll see that I'm currently in Home. I chose to use Home and I kept my home blank specifically for this webinar. I just wanted to make sure that you weren't inundated with information from all of my projects. And so what I'm going to do is just highlight. So we've now got an AI button at the top here, which we've had for a while, but we've also got the AI button at the bottom, which also has some prompts for you to help you with ideas for what to ask it. But jumping to our AI, you'll see when I open up ClickUp Brain, we've got a ton of options now. At the top, you'll see that it's telling you you can ask AI about connected apps, so we'll get to that in a minute. It's got suggestions for things that you can ask, and then we've got some call outs to specific features and updates. But what I'm going to do right now is just ask AI a question. So I'm going to go ahead and type marketing in here, and you'll see I've got a recent prompt. How do I start a campaign request with the marketing team? So I'm going to go ahead and click this. And right now, AI is searching across my workspace. It's searching across my docs. Specifically, it's starting with my wikis, and it's looking to surface that information to me. And so what's really cool here is you can see that we've got all of the steps that I need to take in order to work with the marketing team. And it's also surfaced the form that I would use in order to kick off a marketing campaign request. So let me go ahead and click on that form now. And here you can see the campaign request form where I'd be able to put in all the details to make a new campaign request. Now, one thing that I wanted to call out here is just your ability to use wikis. So I had mentioned wikis previously. Wikis are your ability to highlight specific docs and documentation for the AI to search and surface, primarily when your teams are looking for different information about your company or projects or policies or SOPs. So to show you how wikis work, let me just go ahead and jump to our HR team space. And let's just say that within our HR policies, we want to be sure that our team members are able to easily find and access all of our company policies. And so what I'm going to do is in our company policies doc here, you'll notice that this company policy on remote work, it's already been added as a verified wiki. Marking a doc as a verified wiki, it's as easy as going to the top of the doc, and you'll see that there's an option here to mark as wiki. Once I've marked this as a wiki, now this document will be one of the first documents surfaced when I ask one of these questions. And just to show you what that looks like, let's go ahead and ask AI, what is the company policy on remote work? And you can see that the AI was able to identify this document very rapidly and summarize this document for me. And at the bottom, when I go to the resources, you can see that it's actually referencing this specific document. Now, one final thing I wanted to mention here is as you and your teams are using ClickUp to search for SOPs or processes or policies, as it's giving you correct or incorrect information, make sure that you let it know that this is a good answer, or you can use the dislike button if it's not a great answer. This is going to help to make your AI smarter. So jumping to the next topic, I wanted to talk about how you can now connect external apps and search across more than what's in your own workspace. So by layering on connected apps, AI can index content from various sources like Google Drive, GitHub, Figma, Box, Dropbox, and Confluence, allowing you to perform intelligent searches, ask questions, and execute actions directly from search results in ClickUp Brain. This makes it easier to manage and navigate all of your work. Also, it means that you can find anything from anywhere. So first, let me show you how to connect your apps. So let me hop back over to our workspace. And you'll see at the top section of ClickUp Brain, this is where we have our connected apps. Anytime I want to connect a new app, all I have to do is click on the plus apps button here. And from here, I have the ability to connect all of these different apps. Now, I did want to provide an update as of this webinar. Very soon, you're actually going to see both Jira and Salesforce have been added as apps that you can connect. And we're going to continue adding additional apps in the future as well. Let's just say you wanted to connect Google Drive. So all I need to do is click on Connect. When you click on Connect, it is going to ask you to connect your email. We're going to allow it access. And now you can see that my Google Drive is connected. This allows me to ask AI questions about things that I'm working on outside of ClickUp, which makes it even more useful. So let's go ahead and try an example. So now I'm going to go ahead and actually select Google Drive because that's the place where I want it to search first. And I'm just going to ask, what was the last slide deck I was working on? And I spelled that incorrectly, but the AI should be able to figure that out. And you can see it's pulling up the AI revamped slides, which are actually the exact slides that I'm using for this presentation. Now, later on, I'm going to show you how you can do even more interesting things like ask AI questions about the information in the slide deck or actually summarize the notes from a slide deck. But before that, let's talk through some of the other newer features and updates that we've got. The next feature update that I want to focus on is Build with AI. So I want to show you how you can stop wasting time on manual and repetitive work and use accurate AI updates and status reports for tasks, docs, people, and now even projects. So let's start with some of our AI summaries. Jumping back to ClickUp Brain, I'm going to head to the bottom section here where we got our project updates, list summaries, stand-up, and team updates. Now, in previous roles, I've spent so much time just trying to think back across my week, what I had worked on, what I had accomplished. Now, with the right stand-up option, all I have to do is choose right stand-up. I can say this week, I can put it in a bulleted list or short or traditional, and I can generate that summary of work that I can pass to a manager or leadership as needed. And you can see the AI is actually pulling from all of the work across the entire workspace that I've worked on and summarizing that work across all of the projects that I've been involved in and all the updates to all of the projects for me. Taking that time that maybe you spent at the end of the week on a Friday afternoon from a couple of hours down to a couple of minutes. And then from here, all I need to do is copy it and then send it to my manager. Alternatively, you also have the ability to generate stand-up for your teammates. So I can click Get Team Updates here. I can click on a few different people if I want to. And then I can click Generate and generate the same style of bulleted summary of all the work that they've been doing in the last 24 hours, or the last 3 days, or the last week. Next, I did want to talk through one more big update, and that is our project updates. So previously, we talked about how you can now add AI custom fields to your tasks in order to get summaries and project updates. But we know that primarily we're using our lists for our projects, not necessarily a single task. So let me click on project update here, and you'll see that from here, it's going to ask me to select the list. So I can go ahead and select a list here. I'm just going to go ahead and select my campaigns list. I can say the last 7 days. I can pull in any task status updates that I want. I can pull in information based off of task types or priority or overdue tasks or tasks by due date. And then I can get things like an executive summary, key efforts and initiatives, themes, status reports, trending tasks, milestones, tasks that have been stuck, and it'll even suggest duplicate tasks for me so I can find where those duplicate tasks have been created and maybe merge them into a single task. So let's go ahead and hit generate. And here you can see all the tasks that were created last week, tasks that are currently in progress, what are our top tasks, which ones are currently completed, an executive summary, key efforts and initiatives, and a status report. And if this is, information overload, you can literally ask it questions about the information it's just shown you. So I can say, based on our OKRs, which task should be the number one priority? And you can see it's even linking back to the task, and it's calling out that OKR, which is one of the OKRs in our strategic planning space. So some really cool things you can do here with project updates. Again, it's all based around the concept of saving you more time and saving you more effort and allowing you to get more done more efficiently than ever. And now moving on to our last topic, which is going to be the AI writer. So we've demonstrated this before in the past, but I just wanted to show you some of the updates that we've had here, most especially with the 100 plus role-based prompts that have been added to the platform. Jumping back to the platform here, if I go back to Ask AI, now What I'm going to do is click on Writer. So to access these prompts, you're going to want to click on Writer. From here, you'll see that we have the ability to choose from a dropdown. And this is where you can choose from all of the different roles that have been pre-built in the platform. So if I wanted to choose, marketing or HR or a support team role, let's go ahead and choose engineering as an example. And here I can go ahead and choose an option like create a test plan. And when I choose create a test plan, you'll see that it's going to give me all of the prompts that I need in order to create this document. And it's even going to give me ideas for what I might want to add as the content for the prompts. So generating documentation, SOPs, processes, and policies has gotten so much easier and so much faster. So those were the 4 feature updates that I wanted to go through. But now I wanted to show you how we can actually tie them together into an integrated workflow. So let's dive into a practical example of how ClickUp AI can revolutionize your workflow. Imagine you're on the marketing team and you were tasked with creating copy for the latest engineering releases highlighted during the all hands meeting. What we can do is we can use Connect to connect our Google Drive, and then we can actually ask Google Drive to search for that meeting. So maybe I'll say, as an example, where's the slide deck from our internal release meeting, and can you provide a summary? And here you can see ClickUp AI not only was able to identify the slide deck I'm looking for, but actually was able to summarize the findings across all of the slides within the deck. But I also noticed that our CEO mentioned an internal document containing all the crucial details on bug fixes and feature releases. So I can ask about that too. Finally, using ClickUp AI, I can quickly retrieve the document that I'm looking for and remove any internal references, creating a solid foundation for copy. So here, I'm just going to go ahead and give it one final prompt. So I'm just going to tell it, ClickUp AI, can you summarize the internal release notes from the 7.1 release and rewrite them into an energetic, customer-facing version? And now you can see ClickUp AI has not only pulled the information from the meeting summary, use it to pull additional information from a separate set of documentation, and then ClickUp AI was able to read through that documentation and then convert that to copy that I can use for public-facing release notes. Finally, additionally, the features outlined in the release notes were actually pre-announced in our features to announce list, ensuring everyone in the company is aware of what's coming up. But not everybody in our marketing team knew about that list or where to find it. So I can actually use ClickUp AI to tag the marketing team for any new task that gets added, moved, or created in that list. And I can do it using our natural language processing automation feature. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and close ClickUp Brain here. I'm going to head over to our marketing operations folder, and I'm just going to go ahead and add an automation here. And using our new natural language processing AI builder, I can go ahead and ask for any new task that gets added, moved, or created in the features to announce list, tag the marketing team and add them as watchers. And you can see here, it's already building the basis of that automation. So when a task is created, and we can use any of these sources, what we want to do is change our watchers and add it as the marketing team. So all I have to do is review the automation that was suggested and update it with the final details. And you can see that with AI, I'm able to get so much more done, so much more easily than I would have. So what I'd like to do now is actually pause and make sure that we have enough time for Q&A. I'm sure that from everything that you've seen, you've got lots of questions about how things work. And I'd love to even demo more workflows dependent on the questions that we're getting. So let's go ahead.
Hey, Elliot, you're muted.
Oh my gosh. Thanks,
Oh,
Devin.
you're good. Oh, you're good. Thanks.
All right. All right. Hey, everybody. So thanks, Devin. So as mentioned, I did want to answer some questions now. So I'm just going to be going through the Q&A and answering any additional questions that I can. As mentioned earlier in the session, so we do have a Docs tab in the middle between Q&A and chat where you can find some of our frequently asked questions. For example, is this being recorded? And questions about security and privacy, because I know there've been a lot of questions around those things that have come through. So make sure that you click into that doc. You can download it. There's some live links in there for you. But yeah, as mentioned, I wanted to answer some questions. So I'm just going to go through some of the questions that I've seen so far. How secure is my private information if I give AI access to my Google Drive? Is that information then open to your backend developers or support staff? So that information is absolutely not going to be accessible by our team. We would not have any access to that information that you share with ClickUp AI. How can ClickUp AI be an advantage to video editors at a media company? I feel like that's a very general question. I think one of the best things that I've seen ClickUp AI be used for media companies, just as my personal example, we do a lot of content creation on our teams in the Center of Excellence at ClickUp. And to do that content creation, we use a lot of templates. So for all of our scripts, all of our content tasks that we've got, typically we'll use docs for our scripts. And in our docs, we've actually created templates that include prompts for the AI. So you can either, write pre-built prompts for the AI, and then with that prompt, all you'll need to do is copy and paste that prompt, and then type it into the AI in order to get the AI to generate that information for you. So, if you're doing videos on, for example, for this webinar, if I wanted to talk about learning objectives, right? So I would have a template that has, some prompts based around learning objectives. And then I can actually just copy and paste those learning objective prompts directly into the AI while I'm writing. So I can do it here. Alternatively, you can even select that text inside your doc, click on AI, and then choose to actually, write with AI, either generate, continue writing or explain something. So there's lots that you can do with regard to writing an AI. I feel like then on top of that, just be aware that AI is connected to all of the information in your tasks. So if you're capturing the statuses of your video production, or you're capturing information in custom fields, AI can actually see all of that information. All right. Can ClickUp AI use information from connected AI apps? Absolutely. So as mentioned previously, when you click on the AI button here, you'll have access to connecting your apps to AI. Once you've connected those apps, you can ask questions about both your work in ClickUp and to summarize things that are in the actual documents within within those connected apps. So as an example, I showed you how I could actually summarize slides from my Google Drive and then use those to write a document in ClickUp. So again, you can completely connect all of your apps together. And then one final question that I wanted to answer here. I know we're running out of time. So maybe one last question was just with regard to the project updates. So I did get a question about whether or not you can do that by folder. So currently it is linked to a list. So if I want to go to project updates, you do have to select the list first. So you'll have to select the list that you want to get the project updates from. And then from that list, you have the ability to choose all of the details of the project update that you want the AI to generate for you. So be on the lookout for updates around this. We know that this is a really popular feature already, and it's something that people were excited about. So we're excited to expand on it. All right. So with that, I know we're at time. Just wanted to say thank you so much to everybody for joining. Just be aware the session was recorded. We are going to send that recording out to you. And then also keep in mind that we've now got the ClickUp AI certification in ClickUp University. So definitely check that out if you want to learn about all of the things that AI can do and actually learn how to do all of the things that were demonstrated today in this session. All right. So I just wanted to say thanks again for joining and looking forward to seeing you in our next session.